Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some super hyped up perfumes here on YouTube. I'm going to be testing them out. Well, actually, I've been testing them out and I'm here to tell you my opinions on them, whether or not I plan on bringing them into my collection, whether or not I think they're full bottle worthy and worth the money. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie. I do mostly perfume, beauty, and makeup on this channel. If you're into that kind of content, I would love it if you would subscribe. To my returning subscribers, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. Thank you so, so much. If you are interested in hearing my unfiltered opinions on some of these super hyped up perfumes, then just keep on watching. So a perfume that I have been super curious about for a couple of years now, I think this one came out in 2019. And I just never got around to it, but I finally got a sample of it. This is by Montale, and this is Arabians Tonka. I have heard so many people rave about this fragrance, and I have heard so many different opinions on this perfume, and it made me super, super curious. So I know Paulina Shar loves this fragrance. She talks about this one a lot, and a couple of others just have talked about how great this is. I just had to find out for myself. So I'm not going to spray this because this is nuclear. I mean, this is the strongest perfume I have ever tried in my entire life. I'm not kidding. I could not believe how strong this was. I was actually at work when I tested this out. I took some samples to work with me because my coworkers really like to sniff some of my samples, and I sprayed this one not really thinking too much about it, and it was a huge mistake. I work in a dental office. I'm a dental hygienist. You can't be you're not really supposed to have it smelling like all kinds of perfume, you know? I just didn't even think about it. You know, I just sprayed one spray on here. Just on here I can still smell it. It's crazy. One spray on the card and you could smell Arabians Tonka for the rest of the day up at the front. So this has saffron and bergamot in the opening, and then there's oud and Bulgarian rose. This is a very rosy type oud scent to my nose, but there's also sugar, tonka bean, amber, white musk, and oak moss in here. The first thing I thought of when I first sprayed it was Montale's Intense Cafe, but I wouldn't say that they're dupes for each other. It goes in a completely different direction after you first spray it. But first spray I was like, oh, this smells like Intense Cafe. But then yeah, there's oud in here and the oud starts to come out, and I'm a little sensitive to oud, and when I sprayed it on my skin, I didn't spray it on my skin when I was in the dental office. I wasn't working on patients with this on, okay? I went home, tested it out on my skin, but the oud just came out super strong on my skin, and that usually happens, and I'm not the biggest fan of oud. I would say this reminds me of a cross, like if Montale's Intense Cafe and Mancera's Instant Crush had a baby, you added a lot of oud and then pumped it up full of steroids. That's what Arabians Tonka is for me. You guys, this is too much. It's too much. It's too strong. It's nice. I can see why people like it. I mean, it's obviously a monster of a performer, beyond beast mode, definitely nuclear. It is definitely a very dark and sexy and seductive, something I could only, if I was going to wear this, it would have to be in cold weather only. I could not wear this in the heat. This is one that would choke people out if you oversprayed it. I mean, it's intense. I'm not kidding. I get why people like it. I get why people rave about it, but there's too much oud in here for my taste. It's way too strong for my taste. And yeah, I'm glad I got to try it, but it's a no for me. Okay, in that same vein, I had a sample of this sitting around forever and I just never tried it because I got so sick of this DNA. But this is by Montale, and this is Ristretto Intense Cafe. So earlier this year, right when spring hit, I got over the DNA of Roses Vanille, Intense Cafe, all those types of like very sugary, sweet, jammy, rose, vanilla type of scents. I just got over that DNA and I didn't really want to smell it at all. It kind of started to make me nauseous and I just thought I was done with it. So I had this sample just sitting around and I didn't even touch it for the longest time. And recently I started to get this craving for that Intense Cafe vibe, and it's so funny. It's when the weather changed. We had some cooler days here, just uncharacteristically cool for South Carolina, and you know, that crispness was in the air, and as soon as that happened I was like, all right, Where's my Zara Rose Gourmand? I need that. It's actually on my tray and I have been loving that one. But anyway, I decided to try the Ristretto version because I hadn't even bothered to try it yet. And I didn't really think I was going to love it because, you know, I had Intense Cafe, I had a decant of the original Intense Cafe and I found it to be very synthetic, too sharp. There was like a metallic note in that perfume that I just didn't love, and I ended up decluttering that decant. And the same with Rose's Vanille. I decluttered that decant. It just wasn't for me. So I really didn't have high hopes for Ristretto. Surprisingly, it was love at first sniff. I mean, when I tell you guys that I love this perfume, it was everything I wanted Intense Cafe to be. So for me, the original Intense Cafe didn't have enough coffee. I barely picked up the coffee in that fragrance, and I found myself really wishing there was something in the perfume to cut through that just overwhelmingly sweet, sticky rose that's in there. And I like a good jammy rose, but it just can't be, like, that one was just too sweet for me. It was too much. And I wanted something to like balance the fragrance out, and that is exactly what they did with this perfume. It is gorgeous. And that synthetic metallic note, it is in here when you first spray it, like very first spray, I pick it up, but that coffee note comes through very quickly. I mean, it is the first, like, coffee is right there front and center. It's very strong and it just kind of smooths everything out, and it is so gorgeous. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that that metallic note isn't there when you first spray it, but it's not anywhere close to the OG Intense Cafe. It goes away very quickly because my nose, like I said, picks up that smooth, deep, dark roast. It's a dark roast coffee and it's gorgeous. And it is exactly what this fragrance needed to kind of round it out and make it not so like overly sickly sweet. It is absolutely perfect for fall. If you love coffee and if you wished Intense Cafe had more coffee, you need to get the Ristretto version. For me, this is a 100% yes. It will absolutely be added into my collection. I love it. Performance is so good, of course, just like Intense Cafe, but not quite to the Arabians Tonka extreme. But you still wouldn't want to overspray it. So like I said, this will be added in to my collection for sure. All right, let's talk about some Vilhelm Parfumerie. So that is a pretty popular and hyped up house. It's a niche brand that a lot of people talk about. So I actually have 3 from the house that I was super interested in checking out. This surprised me. Because none of it really went the way I thought it was going to, at least with this one anyway. So the one I thought I was going to love, like absolutely love, is Mango Skin. I thought for sure this was going to be a shoo-in, absolutely up my alley. I love a good fruity, sweet type of perfume. I'm a sucker for that kind of scent profile, but what I am discovering is I don't like mango. So I should have known. Well, not really. I don't know. It's kind of confusing because I don't like to eat mangoes. I can't stand eating mangoes. Like, the taste of mangoes is a no for me. But sometimes when I feel that way about a fruit, I like the way it smells in like candles and perfumes and things like that. So for instance, cherry. I hate cherries. I won't eat a cherry. I can't stand cherries. Ugh, no, I hate cherries. But I adore cherry scented things. So cherry candles, cherry in my perfumes, as long as it doesn't smell medicinal and like cough syrup, I'm here for it, but I won't eat a cherry. And I kind of thought that Mango Skin was going to be the same way, but come to find out that I don't like the way mangoes taste, and I don't necessarily care for how they smell either. So this is not the only perfume I've tested with mango in it that I was like, nah. Now this one I don't hate. I really don't hate it, but I don't love it like so many people do. It's actually nice. It's nice. It's very fruity. It almost has like a tart mango-ness to it, but then it's also very sweet at the same time. But this is an interesting fragrance. This isn't just your typical like fruity floral scent. This definitely has some nuances that make it unique. There's red wine in here, which I can smell, and I think it makes it, you know, definitely unique for sure. So top notes, you have mango, obviously, you have orange and violet, then you have frangipani, mango blossom, and ylang ylang. So there's some yellow florals in here, and I really love yellow floral scents. So this is very like tropical smelling. You have blackcurrant, musk, and then red wine and civet in here. Very interesting. Definitely not your typical run-of-the-mill fruity, floral, sweet fragrance. So if you're looking for something unique, I would say this is a good perfume. If you love mangoes, yes, I would say absolutely go for it because the mangoes are definitely the star of the show in here. It's just not, it's not bad. I definitely don't hate it. I just don't think it's for me, but I do recommend it to you. If you are a lover of tropical, fruity, yellow floral, frangipani, ylang ylang scents and you adore mango, you are going to love this. If you're looking for something that's unique and not like every other fruity tropical floral scent on the planet, definitely check out Mango Skin. I can appreciate it for what it is, but for me, Mango Skin is surprisingly a no. The other one I tried is Poets of Berlin, and I'm not surprised about this one. I pretty much felt like I wasn't gonna like this fragrance, and I don't like this fragrance. But the reason why I wanted to try this fragrance and I was hoping I would like it is because this is a tribute to David Bowie's Berlin trilogy, and I mean, how cool is that, right? Who doesn't like David Bowie? We've got blueberry and lemons, and I also kind of had hope for that as well because blueberry, I love blueberries and I love lemon scented things. And then in the middle, you have bamboo and orris, which that's what ruined it for me. I'm not into the bamboo smell. I really don't like green in my perfumes very often. It is definitely very few and far between that I find a green fragrance that I really enjoy, and it has to be done a certain kind of way. And then base, you have vanilla, sandalwood, and vetiver. So to me, this is very green, very aromatic, very earthy, all the things that I don't really love in a perfume. It also is woody. Yeah, like first thing I smell is bamboo. Yeah, it just kind of smells like grass to me. I don't want to smell like grass. No, it smells like bamboo is what it smells like. It makes me feel like I'm outside in like a garden and I'm smelling, because that blueberry is in here, but it doesn't smell like a sweet like blueberry pie or anything like that. It smells like blueberry that you just like be picking with all the greenness that comes with it. You know what I mean? The leaves and the stem, but definitely not what I want to smell like. Like I do not want to smell like this at all. So yeah, I think it's interesting. It's definitely very unique. If you like green fragrances, definitely check this out. I'm not saying that this isn't worth the hype because I can see why people like it. I can see why someone who wants a unique scent and they're really into green type scents would love this. This would be right up your alley, but it is definitely not for me. So I don't think it's a bad perfume by any means, but not my cup of tea at all. Okay, and then the perfume I wasn't sure if I would like. It was kind of like, oh, that sounds nice. I like white florals, but I don't know. I want to try it. Ended up being the perfume I just fell head over heels in love with, and that is Moon Carnival. You guys, I love this perfume. This is so freaking good. This is, oh, I am a sucker for white florals, so you have to like white florals in order to like this because the white floral in here is very prominent, especially tuberose. You're going to get tuberose more than anything. So if you're not a fan of tuberose and white, heavy kind of floral scents, I don't think you'd like this, but I love white florals, especially tuberose. Tuberose is my favorite white floral, and yeah, I'm a fan. Oh my God, this smells so good. So when I say heavy white floral, like it is very white floral prominent. It's got tuberose and jasmine in here, I think. No, it has, no, I'm lying to you. It has tuberose and gardenia. See, and I couldn't even really, well, now that I'm smelling it, I guess I can tell, but it's so well blended. There isn't like a white floral besides tuberose. The gardenia isn't like boom gardenia. Usually when gardenia is in a fragrance, I can tell right away because it is super, super strong and heady smelling. This is so well blended that it's strong, but it's not heady. If that makes sense. It's not like, whoa, like too much white flowers. It's just very smooth. Very smooth. It's not sharp, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not a sharp white floral. This is an incredibly smooth white floral. Top notes, you have pink freesia, passion fruit, and bergamot. I wouldn't say I get a lot of that passion fruit. Usually passion fruit is pretty like front and center, like, whoa, there's passion fruit, you know? And then I definitely pick up the tuberose, a little bit of the gardenia, and then there's also orchid in here as well. And in the base, you have vanilla, marshmallow, which you can smell in here, and it's gorgeous. And then you have tonka bean. Those are three notes I adore. That base, oh my gosh, that base mixed with the smooth white florals, it just gives it this sweetness without being overly sweet. It's definitely very vanilla forward, but that marshmallow in here is very noticeable. It's like these white, fluffy, beautiful flowers that are very smoothly blended together on a bed of like yummy vanilla and creamy, fluffy marshmallows. I mean, it is so freaking good. It's a little bit powdery from that Tonka bean. I just can't see myself reaching for this right now in the fall and winter, but as soon as spring comes, this will probably be the first perfume I get. All right, up next we have by Xerjoff. This is Accento Overdose, I believe is how you say it. It's not Accento, I think it's Accento. I'm not the best at pronouncing things, I'm so sorry. This fragrance I was super curious about as well. I hear a lot of people talking about this one. I just didn't think it was going to be for me, but you know, I wanted to give it a shot. Plus the bottle is like, I really wish I loved this fragrance because the bottle is to die for. I mean, I'd love to have this bottle in my collection. And you know, I thought maybe I had a chance because it is a very white floral fragrance, but it is also very, very green. So top notes, you have fruity notes, you have green accords and aldehydes. Middle notes, you have Egyptian jasmine and lily of the valley, and then rose, which these are all pretty much notes I like except for the green. I don't mind if it says green accord. I usually don't have a problem with that. I have other fragrances that have like green notes or green accords in it that I don't dislike, but then the base notes, you have eucalyptus and pine, and that's where it goes south for me. I don't care for those notes very often. I don't want to smell like pine needles. I just don't like that in my perfumes at all. I really just don't want to smell like plants or grass or trees or leaves. It's just not my vibe, you know what I mean? But some people really like this fragrance. So the opening of this is really, really beautiful. When I first sprayed this, I was like, oh, okay. I think I might actually like this. I get those fruity notes. I do get some of that jasmine, some of that rose, but then as it starts, I can smell it already. Just now, like the eucalyptus and the pine are, yeah, starting to come through. And now I immediately, like first spray, I'm like, ooh, I like it. But then like seconds later, I'm like, no, I don't. This is a very good performing fragrance. I sprayed it on me. I just sprayed it on the back of my hand and I was getting wafts of it. I had to go wash it off. Not because I felt like it was a scrubber, because I definitely don't hate this fragrance at all. I actually can appreciate this for what it is. And I think that for the right person who enjoys green notes in their fragrances, this is going to be gorgeous. It's just not for me, but I do think it's worth the hype. And the other one by Xerjoff that I've been playing around with is La Capitale. This is an extremely, extremely hyped up fragrance on YouTube. I've heard so many people recommend this fragrance, talk about this fragrance, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it because there's a leather note in here and I am not a fan of leather at all. But I do have some fragrances that have leather or suede in it that I can't really make out the note. In the top, there's strawberry, caramel, peach, and labdanum. I love all of those notes. I love caramel, and I was really curious about that strawberry note. In the mid, you have leather, and you have saffron. You have amber, ginger, and rose, and I thought that sounded super interesting. Like, that's an interesting combination of notes. And then in the base, you have bourbon vanilla, which I love bourbon vanilla, and benzoin, and I'm usually a pretty big fan of benzoin as well. So a lot of promising notes in here, and the leather was what it was going to be for me. Am I gonna like the leather in here or not? And I will say the leather is not super strong. It's very smooth. It's not something that makes me think of like a leather jacket. If you're not a leather person, I can still see people enjoying this fragrance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this fragrance. I've tested it out a few times. I've actually worn it. I've given it a full wear test. I keep going to it and sniffing it, and I honestly cannot figure out if I like this fragrance or not. I'm not really my brain has not figured out what I'm smelling. I really like the strawberry note in here. I really like the strawberry, and I can definitely pick up the caramel. That opening is really beautiful. The peach, labdanum, caramel, and strawberry. I love that combination. There's something in here though that I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's the ginger. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I think I like this, but I'm not 100% sure. Definitely unique, and I think my brain is just trying to comprehend what I'm smelling. But I do keep going back to it, and that's usually a sign that I'm going to end up loving it. I will report back and let you know what I think. This is definitely a maybe. All right, this last fragrance that I've been testing out is by 4160 Tuesdays. This is Silk, Lace, and Chocolate. This one has chocolate, strawberry, and bergamot. Those are all the notes that are listed. I don't know if there's more than that, but there's just chocolate, strawberry, and bergamot listed in this fragrance. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that, but this is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that strawberry is so realistic to an actual strawberry. I mean, it smells like a strawberry. It literally smells like a chocolate covered strawberry, period. That's it. It's not complex at all. There's nothing to think about. I don't have to try to figure this fragrance out. It is a chocolate covered strawberry. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If you like gourmands, if you want to smell like an actual chocolate covered strawberry, this is it. This is it. This is so good. And normally I don't like gourmands that are too realistically foodie, but this is an exception. Every once in a while I do come across one that I'm like, yes, I want to smell like a chocolate covered strawberry. Normally my gourmands, I prefer semi-gourmands. I prefer a gourmand that has other things going on in it. This is full bottle worthy for me. I don't know about the performance. I think it's kind of like Over the Chocolate Shop. It's not bad. It's not good. When I wore it, I remember thinking, okay, this is just moderate, which is the same with Over the Chocolate Shop. I get a moderate performance, a moderate projection. Definitely acceptable, but not like, oh my God, this is the best performing perfume ever. So yeah, if you want to smell like a chocolate covered strawberry, you need to check out Silk, Lace, and Chocolate by 4160 Tuesdays. All right, you guys, and that is it for today's video. Those are all the perfumes I have been testing recently. If you did like this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.